Hi guys, Zach here with another Naval Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 2v2 match on the map Naval Conquests. I'm starting in the top right position, playing as the Allies. So for those of you who don't know this map, what happens is each corner has a small island, and those islands have two ore patches, so they have some resources, but it's not a great deal. And if you tend to stay on your island, you will run out of resources pretty quickly. And on the middle of the map, there's sort of like this big, well, it's lots of islands, but they're interconnected by little paths, little roads across the water, so you can go all around it. And that's where we need to expand to. So when I played this map, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get an MCV nice and early so you can expand to that middle island and start using the ore on there, just so you don't run out of ore on your starting position. And as you can see there, we've got some gems, we've got some ore, so you tend to get in quite a lot of ore early on, and that tends to be quite easy. So I'm building my war factory first. I'm going to build an ore silo, because I forgot to do that. I should have done that as soon as I built my ore refinery. And I'm also going to be building a service depot, because that service depot is what I'm going to need so I can build that MCV. And what I like to do is you can build an ore truck while you're waiting for that service depot to be built. And I'm just going to build a power plant. You can also sell your service depot if you want to. It's probably a little bit quicker. And while I'm waiting for the MCV to be built, I'm going to be building that another ore refinery, so I can be using the other ore patch as well. And that's what I'm going to leave it at for sort of like my starting island, because I don't want to use up all the ore too quickly, so I just leave it at 3 ore trucks, and then any other ore trucks I'm going to be build are going to be used on the other island. Now I did a little bit of a mistake here. I put my power plant too close to the entrance to the second ore patch, because really what it should be is my ore refinery should be a bit closer to that path across to the second ore patch. So that was a little bit of a mistake from me. And now you can see me building my naval yards, and that's just so I can build a transport ship initially. And I'm just going to be building some destroyers, because you can get attacked quite early if you're not careful. And I'm just going to send those destroyers down just so I can see if anything's going to be produced. And you can also see I'm also building some ore trucks, and that's just so when I get to my middle island, I'll be able to deploy the ore trucks as soon as I get another ore refinery. And while I'm just waiting for those ore trucks to be built, you can see I'm been building my radar dome, and now I'm going to start building my ore refinery as I transport the 2 ore trucks and the MCV to this middle island. Now of course there is a little bit of a risk here. As you can see, there are some troops there, and if my enemy did go with tanks really early on, then it could be quite risky to do this, but it does pay off real big time if it does work. So unfortunately he has got some troops there, and that's open, playing as a red, so I don't know if you'll notice that my ore trucks are there. But what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be building a war factory straight away, and because I'm going to have a really good economy, I'm going to be able to build quite a few tanks and just have the funds in order to do that. So I'm building medium tanks on this middle island, so it's all about being quite quick, get the ore trucks to work straight away, get your war factory built, and once you've got that done, then you can start building up your army. Also, I'm going to be building my tech centre. A tech centre is really, really important because it allows you to build cruisers, which play a very big role on this map. Also, being the Allies, it also allows you to have satellite, which gives you visibility of the whole map, which is obviously very, very beneficial. And now I'm getting my tanks to that gap. You can see there's a little path interconnecting the islands. I'm just getting my tanks to that spot in order to provide a little bit more defense. And you can see open there with the troops blocking that gap. Because I'm using tanks, I can sort of squash them. And now I'm going to send my tanks a bit further down, and I'll just place my tech centre on the starting island, so it's in a real safe position where it's won't be easily gotten by tanks if I do get attacked in the base on the top right. I also, because I've got radar, can see my ally, who hasn't expanded off that first island, I don't think yet. And now we're going for an attack on Open's base. and it doesn't look like he's got anything to defend, so this could be quite an easy, yeah, he's sold his MCV, and that's quite beneficial for us, because what we've done is we've managed to slow our enemy's progression and take out that base early on. And now what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be sending some tanks across to different parts of the map and just get a bit more visibility of this middle island. Now there is a gem island patch that's sort of like in the bottom left of this island, so I'm sort of like in the wrong position to get that, but I will want to keep an eye on that because it can obviously give people an advantage. And now I'm just pulling those tanks back. I just destroyed the transport ship there. We can see the Open is building some destroyers. And as time goes on, I'm just expanding to more and more ore patches on this middle island, building my economy, building my tank force, and I'll also be able to produce cruisers and things in the middle of the map, because there's sort of like a middle water piece. You can see I've got a lot of destroyers on this outer patch, and that's a good thing because Open's coming up with some destroyers, but I think I will have more than him at this point. And this economy that I'm getting, and now we can see Cyan, he's got a little tank there, not too much at the moment, but he'll sort of like be aware now of where I am, and we'll have to see if he does decide to go on the attack. We can see some more medium tanks coming in from Cyan. And I'm also now going to be building some cruisers in the middle of that map. Cruisers do a lot of damage to tanks. They also do a lot of damage to buildings. But Cyan's force of tanks is pretty big, and I'm going to have to get some reinforcements over to this point very fast. I'm now building defences. I'll go for like probably turrets as well. Turrets do quite well against tanks, but we'll have to see how this goes. And now he's trying to take out my tanks initially, but this is giving me a bit of a chance to build some more turrets and get my reinforcements in. And now that my reinforcements are in, I'll probably have enough to defend, because those turrets are quite effective. And that was quite lucky there. If he'd gone straight for my base, he might have been able to take me out and get me out of that very middle patch. I also had my actually cruisers, which possibly gave me a bit of help there. And now I've got full map visibility. And what we can see, quite essentially, is that Cyan are not on that middle gem island at the moment, which is quite good for us, of course, because it means that they're not going to be getting as many resources, although I could send my cruisers right over there right now if they had been on that island. And I need to think about how I'm going to defend this base, because he does have quite a few tanks, and I don't think the water units will be quite enough to defend there. And Open on that island at the bottom, I can use my cruisers to cause him a bit of trouble there. And we can see Open there with some destroyers. And I can also use my tanks to sort of take them out as well, so which is what I'm going to do right at this moment. But we can see Cyan coming over, and he's got quite a few tanks there. He's also got some destroyers, so he's going to provide some naval support there. So we're going to have to try and defend that patch. I'm going to be bringing some... oh, and you can see Cyan there in that patch as well, and now he's going for my ore trucks there. I've got a war factory producing tanks though, and he's only got 4 medium tanks, so I should be okay in that position. And now I'm trying to take out Open's other base. And my cruisers there doing a lot of damage, and now he's doing an attack on those cruisers there, but those cruisers are going to be able to do a lot of damage to his base, and we managed to take out war factories there, and you can just see how much damage these cruisers do to buildings, and it's just absolutely decimating Cyan's base. Cyan though coming in for the attack on my middle base. We'll have to see how this goes. I'm building a few more turrets just for safety, and now Cyan with his medium tank attack. We'll have to see how this goes, but I do have a lot of turrets at this point. I do have quite a few tanks defending also, and I do think I will be probably able to defend this, although he does have a lot. And we'll just have to see how this goes. And now some destroyers going in, and those destroyers are quite effective, and it might actually be the case that I do lose this base. I'm going to send some cruisers just to do some firing, but the thing is, when cruisers fire, they can destroy buildings as well. I think I'll be able to keep some of these turrets probably. I don't think he'll destroy everything, and those cruisers destroying tanks bottom base. You can see that's getting quite decimated. But Open going for the attack on my top right base. I wasn't fully aware of that, and he's got down my construction yard, and also quite essentially he's also got rid of one of my ore refineries, so this is putting me in a little bit more of a difficult position. I do still however have an ore refinery there in the middle of the map, and now my cruiser's firing on that Cyan's ore refinery there, and the cruisers, I'm getting a real good number now, and I'm just starting to build some more defences. Now going for the attack on Open's base. This is and he doesn't have enough tanks. I've got many more tanks than he has, but he's got some destroyers also trying to provide some support, but I think I'm going to get this base down not without too much problems. And now I'm bringing my destroyers down south as well. But you can see Cyan attacking my base there, and now he's got rid of my war factory in that position. But I will be able to still build my ore refinery back there because it does have a turret which is still available. I'm just trying to bring some tanks back at the moment and just sort of reinforce my position. And now Cyan going across the bridge to attack my middle base. He's also trying to do some damage to my ore trucks, which are getting a bit damaged there, and attacking my ore patch, but they're both on red and they'll be easily taken out with these tanks that are brought to reinforce. And the thing about Cyan now is he's off the middle of the map, so that he won't be able to get any reinforcements. We can still see though Open, he's got he had a war factory there, it's gone down now, and it's just so important to have like cruisers in the middle of the map. It just gives you such a big advantage. You can see how much damage they're doing, and now Yellow coming in with some boats, sort of like in the top middle part of the map. What I'm going to do now though is I'm going to go down the right side of the map with my destroyers and do an attack on Open's base, and we'll have to see how this goes. I'm also loading up one of my transport ships with some tanks in order to try and do an attack, and we've managed to, well, almost wipe Open off the middle of the map. By the way, this video was from quite a long time ago, so Open has improved quite a bit now, so I think he would play where it would be a lot harder for me if it was played now. And we can see Open trying to run that MCV away, and now I've got my destroyers and I'm going to bring them down. We can see Open with those tanks on that bottom right position, but on that patch we can see all of yours gone, and so you can't mine anymore. And that's one of the reasons I don't build that many ore trucks on my starting island, because you just run out of ore and then you're like, ore trucks are just waiting around. I prefer to get those ore trucks to the middle of the map where they can mine for a lot longer. And now we're taking out Open's tanks, and he doesn't seem to be responding at the moment. He's probably more actually focused on that base in the middle of the map, but he's only got 3 tanks there, and I've got a lot of tanks, I've got a lot of control, and there's no way that Open, I think, can get back into this, or Cyan as well. Cyan looks like he's in trouble, but it's because I've also got the boats in the middle of the map, so every time they try and get a base there, I'm just going to use those cruisers just to do some damage, and we can see Open selling up, and that's going to be a good game. Yeah, because you can see there, he's got his last building, he's got his 3 tanks, but I'm bringing quite a number of tanks through, and that building's going to go down pretty quickly, and that if it Open will be officially out of the game. So now we've got Cyan, and we can see that Cyan has tried to build a base on that bottom part of the island, but I do have my destroyers here, and I do have a lot of tanks on this middle patch. So what I'll do is I'm going to bring my destroyers across, and I'm also going to bring my tanks down. Now, Cyan does have some ore on his starting island, but it does look pretty bare right at the minute, and I'm just bringing my destroyers across, and yeah, I think he'll probably know now that since Open was wiped out, that he doesn't really stand much of a chance. I've also still got that transport ship actually with tanks on, And he's got a couple of tanks there, but they'll be easily taken out by my destroyers. And as soon as my cruiser gets there, it's going to be able to take out that construction yard. And he sails up.
Unit ready.
And I think he's called it. It's going to be a good game.
Unit ready.
And yeah, it was just about, I just had more tanks on the middle, I guess, at the start. I was able to expand a bit more. I think they possibly need to get to the middle and build more tanks earlier and do an attack on my middle bases. And then it could have been a little bit different. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.